Hello and welcome back to Suspense Animation. I'm your host, Dennis Patholkis, and this is Harley Quinn, Season 1, Episode 3. So you need a crew? Welcome, everybody. So this is the animated Harley Quinn series, of course, on DC Universe. The foul-mouthed and pretty violent animated Harley Quinn. And good thing, and you can hear Pepper in the background. She's all amped up because she's been watching it, and, you know, that's what happens. Violent cartoons corrupt young minds is what happens there. So, before I get started, let me get some business out of the way first. If you like what you see here, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, like, share, and subscribe. Also, if you want to know when I'm going to be on live again next, you can hit the bell down below here. It's a 50-50 chance of YouTube actually notifying you when I'm on again live. The real way of doing it is going to suspendedanimation.com, like Penn just put up there, and take a look at my schedule. It's online. I change it out once a week. It's also up on my Facebook page as well. And speaking of Facebook, there's a Facebook group that you guys can post stuff and talk amongst yourselves there. And I also have Twitter and Instagram, and I have a Patreon, but no tiers set up as of yet. It will happen at the end of this year, beginning of next year. So, let me. She is just getting all kinds of rambunctious now over on the side there. Spoiler alert, I am going to spoil the shit out of the episode. If you have not seen the episode, go and watch it. Come on back. This will be a video you can comment down below in the comment section. Thank you, Viking Bitch, for the paddle. So, as I've been telling people, DC Nation, for some reason, decided today to post the very first episode online on YouTube and in its uncut and uncensored glory. And it's a lot of fucking fun. That's all I can say. So I'm not going to do my usual recap. I'm going to do a review of this, talk about some highlights and stuff like that. I actually really dig this show. It's been a lot of fun. It's very Venture Brother s. They're not breaking any new ground on what they're doing. Essentially, they've taken the Venture Brothers and gone a little bit filthier with it, but using DC Comics characters is what they're doing. Um, and I'm kinda happy with that, it's there's one line in there that I knew it was Venture Brothers, so Harley decides that she needs to get a crew of her own, some henchmen, because Joker has henchmen around him all the time. Poison Ivy, of course, tries to talk her out of it and says, "Oh, you don't need anybody. I'm doing fine all by myself." Of course, as all her plants are around her, and Frank the plant is like, "Yeah, right. Bitch, you don't do anything for yourself," as he puts it. So she goes to get henched up, and yeah, that's actually what the line is. There is she goes to a henching agency, and one of the ponytailed guys says, "Let's get you henched up," which is very Venture Brother s. And of course, we have Doctor Psycho as well. Doctor Psycho, good lord, man. So Poison Ivy is basically trying to point out to Harley that, hey, Dr. Psycho's doing okay, and he doesn't have henchmen. And he's fighting Wonder Woman. They're watching him fight Wonder Woman on TV until Wonder Woman throws like the backlash of whatever she screams at him, launches him into the back of a car, and he's pissed off. He gets up and goes, "That hurt, you cunt." He calls her a cunt. Yes. It gets bleeped out, but you heard the very first part of it, and it's just like, and everyone stops, gasp. You see the world stop spinning, all this stuff. And of course, Dr. Psycho has to do some media repair, if you will. And I guess he's married to Giganta. So he's very, very small. And of course, she's very, very large. And they have a kid together, which just made me laugh at that implication. And then also, she's blaming him for using mind control to make her think that she's in love with him when he hasn't been, which is pretty damn funny. Um, so throughout this thing, what we're getting is that and it's true in DC Comics lore, we don't have any villainesses that are big time, if you will. Uh, if you try and think of one, I mean, Harley Quinn comes to mind, obviously. Poison Ivy, but they're not at the status of a Lex Luthor or a Joker or something like that. In fact, Harley is Joker's, is always attached to Joker at this point. And that's what this whole crux of this episode is that, you know, female supervillains, are never allowed there's a glass ceiling for female supervillains is what they're saying, and they're not allowed through it. And case in point, as Poison Ivy says, she tells Harley a little story about Queen of Fables back in the 80s, who was a villain who, pulled together her own crew by recruiting characters from storybooks. And she was taking on the big 3, Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman. And, she ends up sending Harley over to go and talk to Queen of Fables, who is now a book sitting on a table. She's a tax law book is what she is. And she says, and it's voiced by the ever wonderful Wanda Sykes, which is an awesome voice. And Wanda, Queen of Fables basically says, "Hey, you know what? You rob a bank. If you're a male supervillain, they throw you in Arkham. What did they do to me? They made a fucking example of me and turned me into a fucking book," is what she says. What the hell is up with that? And yeah, it's true. I mean, if you think about the comics lore, there really isn't, on the DC side, a really good female supervillain that is up the level of those other, of the female or the yeah, of the female heroes, the large female heroes. So they have a point at this point, and just it's done well. It's not done to an annoying point where you're just kinda going, "Okay, we get it." It's actually done very well, matter of factly, and just kinda like, "Hey, I never really thought about that, but they're right." And I kinda like the way they did that. So, she ends up pulling together her own crew, of course. Well, first she goes to she tries to recruit people, of course. No one wants to be part of her crew. They will for Kite Man, though, they automatically go. But, she even goes to a self-help seminar from Maxie Zeus, who is voiced by Will Sasso, which is really damn funny. And, you know, Maxie Zeus basically says all these points that she's already been doing. And he tells her, "You got to keep trying. Just keep going out there and trying." And of course, Dr. Psycho fucks up again enough where he gets thrown out of the Legion of Doom, excuse me, Legion of Doom. Did I say League? Oh, everything's mixing together now. Legion of Doom. And he gets thrown out of all the other different affiliates of Legion of Doom, all the way down to the Junior League of Legion of Doom, and ends up joining Harley's crew, and also Clayface as well. Clayface ends up joining Harley's crew because he's got nothing else better to do. And also, he wants to play a whole bunch of different roles. And Clayface is voiced by the ever, ever talented Alan Tudyk. Tudyk? Alan Tudyk. Which, again, he's also voicing the Joker. So this is just awesome. And of course, their first heist is, taking over Maxie Zeus's house and stealing all his gold medals that he stole from the '96 Olympics. It's pretty damn funny. And I mean, having Clayface pose as his long lost son from some woman that he met at a piano bar kind of thing. And yeah. And of course, Maxie Zeus is playing along with it and he brings him in. And we don't know he's playing along with it until shit goes wrong. And then they, of course, beat the shit out of him and tell him to basically let everyone know that Harley Quinn's crew is not to be fucked with. Yeah. Good fucking episode. That's all I can say. It was a lot of fun. I may actually go watch it, go back again and watch it just because it was a lot of fun. It really was. And just all the little things. I mean, I didn't realize it, but Felix Faust is in there. Actually, he was in there. I take that back. Alan Tudyk actually does the voice of Felix Faust as well, who's in the bar, who's got a portal open, and he's basically just sending people, his henchmen, into death. Is what, and Harley calls him out on it. She's like, "You join my crew, I will never knowingly send you to your death." And one of the henchmen stand there in line. He goes, "Wait, she said that we don't have to die, we don't have to go to hell." He goes, "Just get in there," is what Felix Faust says, and of course he goes running in and dies. But yeah, it had a couple of really good lines in there, like, "Let's get you henched up." And then at one point, Dr. Psycho is beating the shit out of Clayface because Clayface is behind the bar. Every time Clayface changes, by the way, he spins and flings mud on or clay on everybody. And at one point, Dr. Psycho jumps over the bar there on top of him and starts beating the shit out of him and goes, "Is it clay face or fuck face?" as he's punching him, which I thought was pretty damn funny. I think Clayface changing in front of Zeus was the give. Mr. Roboto, I think actually he was onto him way at the beginning and just wanted to see where it was going to go, is what Maxi Zeus was doing. And I think he was a little too full of himself. And he was just kind of going along with it. I mean, a mailman at 9 o'clock at night, saying that he's your son from a woman that you met in a piano bar, that's a little bit much. So yeah, it's a lot of fun. Next week's episode, I saw the preview for that one because they have it up, and we get Robin in the mix, and it's the Damien version of Robin. So Bruce is actually his actual son. The other thing that was actually kind of funny in this episode too was they're talking about Batman waxing everywhere is what Poison Ivy says because Catwoman told her that's what he does. Yeah, yeah. It could have been Mr. Roboto. Who knows? But that was fun. It was a fun episode. It's a fun series. If you haven't seen it, like I said, and you don't have DC Universe, go and take a look on YouTube. You'll find that first episode uncensored and uncut. And then of course you'll end up subscribing to DC Universe again. That's all. So, what else is going on is tomorrow is Saturday Morning Blast Off. That's where I take the genre news of the week and talk about it and anything else you guys want to talk about genre wise. Also, it's the 1 year anniversary of the show. So I signed up on YouTube on the 14th. My first video actually didn't hit till the 16th of December, but I signed up on the 14th. So technically, as far as Movie Fanobi keeps saying, that is my 1 year anniversary. So sure, why not? We'll blend it into that as well, into Saturday Morning Blast Off, and talk about that and the other genre stuff. Also, Saturday afternoon, I'm going to be doing The Expanse, Season 4, Episode 1. And then Sunday is going to be a double header again as well of Mr. Robot and Watchmen. Monday is going to be His Dark Materials. And then Tuesday, I roll around to The Expanse Episode 2, because that's where it's going to live, is on Tuesdays. And then Wednesday is going to be The Mandalorian, because The Mandalorian drops on Wednesday of next week. We can have 2 anniversaries. What's the other anniversary, Pen? Or are you talking about 2 parties, one on the 14th and one on the 16th? I could do that too. Yeah, this is true. I know, and I don't wax everywhere, just in the usual places. Ah, but yeah, go and I mean, if like I said, if you guys have not watched this series, it's good stuff. I'm probably preaching to the choir right now because I've already had the spoiler paddle up, so no one watched any of this stuff because of the spoilers. But yeah, man, it's some good stuff. Saturday afternoon. Uh if you're Yeah, Mr. Roboto, I'm kind of past it now. I'm not gonna. Yeah, it could have been fake. It could have been real. Who knows? It's one of those things that is lost to comedic time in space, and that's where we're gonna leave it. So, what else I got going on here? Tomorrow, actually, we're gonna be talking about a lot of Star Wars stuff. Just so you know, there's a lot of Star Wars stuff that's coming out because, of course, Episode 9 is supposed to be coming out. So, of course, people are going to be talking about Star Wars this week. Even that reminded me of Venture Brothers. The waxing, yeah, yeah. Venture Brothers is very deep. It's got some deep cuts to it. It really does, and they did it well. They've done it well for a long time. Oh, the Long Lost Son episode, yeah, the Long Lost Son bit, yes. True, that actually does, yeah, also deals with the Venture Brothers as well. So good stuff. Go and watch this series. I don't know how many people are actually watching it. I think it's low in the numbers, unfortunately, which is a shame because it's much better than Titans. So much better than Titans. So much better than Titans. And it's funny. And, you know, it's got good actors, voice actors that are in this. And it's got good animation. It's not the shitty animation that they normally do for most of the DC movies and stuff like that. So, yeah. Yes, Mr. Roboto, I know. I am going to be I will be doing a, the Crisis crossover, the CW Crisis crossover, first 3 episodes that have aired because the last 2 aren't gonna air until January. So I'll be talking about those sometime during the week. I don't know when, but yes, I will talk about that too. Maybe I'll just do it during, the show tomorrow during Saturday Morning Blast Off. Who knows? So, yeah. So with that said, I want to say thank you to those of you who joined me tonight in the chat. Thank you if you made it this far in the video. And I'm gonna let you guys go for the night because I got stuff I got to plan for tomorrow. Um, and I will end up, of course, seeing you guys then. Until then, don't let the door hit your ass on the way out. Otherwise, you could, actually, before I actually say goodbye here, God, I'm sorry. I'm actually really, really tired. It's been really, really a long day. So that's why I'm a little bit loopy. Um, like, share, and subscribe. Take a look at the video up here if you're still on the fence about subscribing. The video up here is going to be, of course, The Mandalorian up that way. What else do I have going on? Twitter, Instagram. Also, there's a Patreon page as well. No tiers set up as of yet. We'll have it at the end of this year, beginning of next year. There we go. So until tomorrow, don't let the door hit your ass on the way out. Otherwise, you may end up having to join Dr. Faust's group. And quite honestly, no one wants to be sent to hell prematurely. Thanks, everybody. Have a good night.